Hello guys and welcome once again to File Gaming. It's Steve and Tim here, and we're talking about a server that we're both, a community that we're both part of. It's called Arma Tanoa Life, as you can see on the screen. My role on this server actually is I'm actually the leader of the police faction and the commissioner, and Tim here is... Well, what is your part in this server, Tim?
I don't really have an official party. I'm trying to make it a bit more official.
Yeah.
But I'll be leading a rebel group, I guess. But for now, it's not like an official faction you can join. But I'm trying to get it implanted so it looks a bit more professional, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like anything, really. I mean, rebel groups are rebel groups, but there's several rebel bases on them that are going to be on the map anyway.
They're going to be custom built bases then, or just by Arma made?
Just parts of the map. I mean, perhaps who knows? Who knows what Wolf has put in there? He might have put in that there might be a rebel island. Who knows?
Hopefully, otherwise I'll get him to make it in there. I'm trying to get him to make some custom buildings, some checkpoints, things like that. You know, you can cap.
Well, obviously everything's going to be vanilla. Everything's going to be unmodded because.
But you can always put in your own buildings without having to download some mods, I guess.
Yeah. But hopefully. Oh, the new weapons though, holy crap. I was playing with them the other day, and so much better than what there was before. Both the cop faction and rebels, you know, you got the AKs, you got the RPG. Oh.
Yeah, fun fact is, I usually sometimes still play the old vanilla Arma, without the Apex. I have to switch between all the time. It's quite annoying, but I guess it has to happen. But when I play without the Apex expansion, I kind of already miss the weapons, the new weapons.
Yeah.
Because there's so much weapons, there's so much different things, and the new cars and all. It's really nice to play with. And then when you can't play with them, you kind of do miss them.
Well, it's just so much better. It's like before. I mean, I know a lot of the weapons are based on real life equivalents, but it's so much better switching from the old standard for police factions, which was the I don't even use those weapons that much. I'm so used to modded armor now because of the weapons.
I don't play anything else than modded.
The 6.5mm NATO weapons, they're a bit lackluster. They don't stand out really. They're a bit
too normal, you could say.
What?
Too normal?
I wouldn't say that. They're just a bit too boring, a bit too plain. But the new weapons, which are based on the HK416s, they are perfect.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
You think you're firing an actual weapon with that. You know, and the attachments fit well. You know, everything works well with those guns, and even the Chinese weapons feel authentic. You know, they're bullpups, but they feel good.
Oh yeah, they're bullpups.
And then you got, for the rebel factions, you got the various different AKs, right from the AKM. The AK-47 isn't in, which is a bit... but then the AKM is just an improved AK-47 anyway, so...
Yeah, I think it's just I don't know, you could call it about the same gun, just a different name.
It's just machine better, so the AKM is...
Yeah, I must say, what they do miss is, in the rebel faction, is more like an SVD rifle or some long barrel AK. Because there's nothing in there that does longer ranges. There's only the AKM and the smaller variant. I'm not sure the name of that is yet.
AKS-74U.
Oh yeah, the small one. I think it's more like a submachine. Sorry.
Submachine gun. Yeah. Well, It's a combat. It's like a carbine, basically. You've got that on the for the these new NATO weapons on. Well, NATO weapons actually CTRG weapons because the NATO on Tanoa still use different texture versions of the original stuff, but these new weapons aren't. These new weapons aren't short enough. Then you got the new SMG, which is the Protector 9mm SMG, which is actually the MP5 or an MP5K. That's how short it is. Which that's a really nice gun. I will admit it's quite a good little weapon, but it just doesn't have the range.
What I do like is what they added the small thingy with the 50 cal in the barrel.
Yeah,
it's something I've never seen before.
That's a bit cheaty though,
Yeah,
and that will not be used on the server because you'll just have gangs with just that equipped, and they'll just. Oh, there's a police car approaching. Bang, 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 kaboom! That's just that won't wash.
I don't think it's gonna be that useful since it's a very short barrel, but it's something fun that I've not seen before.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it has a short barrel. If you're flying something like the big Vito aircraft that NATO have, you're just gonna be able to shoot that down without any problem. You're just gonna go pop, 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 and down it goes.
Yep, that's true. Do you know the specifications of the 50 cal? How many bullets it has per magazine?
10 per magazine.
Oh, that's quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like 5 or something, because even the 50 cal sniper rifles don't have that much bullets per magazine.
And they can just literally go pop, 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 kaboom, and that's just that's not gonna fly. There probably won't be sniper rifles either because it's a bit pointless. Being to know and being the fact that you can kill like over several miles with it. It just seems a bit overkill.
Yeah, have you got some vehicles you'll be using for the police departments, or are you just gonna use the off-road one with the police texture?
Honestly, I don't know yet. I haven't seen what Morph is putting together. He's worked on this version. He's using the framework from Arma Life, Altis Life 3.4, which was one of the most stable and lag-free versions, and he's put about 500 to 600 hours work into customizing it, every part of it, and it'll become the basis of
very active on developing, since like he's always busy with something, at least when he's online.
Yeah, but I mean the problem is, and the reason why this server hasn't gone up properly until the 11th is because every time you go and put together a mission and you save it onto that as an MP mission and you binarize it, it fixes that to that specific version. Every time a change is made, you have to change it, and sometimes the changes can be so extreme that it takes a while before you can actually get it working again. A lot of the servers had a problem with this after, I think it was Arma 3 version 1.52. I think a lot of them had to make it so it's had to have their people switch back to 1.52, and Bohemia actually had to put up a backwards thing in the, when you go to the betas bit, you actually had an option to switch back to 1.52 because for a while nobody had a fix for it, and life servers just wouldn't work. So
I think I've actually heard about that. Yeah, I didn't know it was that reason, but I've had to downgrade then, and they told me like you need to use that certain version.
It was
Oh,
because
that's probably why.
Bohemia made some changes to the multiplayer framework. That's when they had all the new server browser stuff coming in, and it just completely ruined the compatibility with Altis Life and
But
Arma Life framework. It just neither of them worked.
everyone had to rewrite their code then, I guess.
Not quite. It actually took another patch from Bohemia Interactive to fix it.
So they just gave out
There's
a
still
wrong
a few changes that had to be made. So, yeah. But yeah, this version of Altis Life has been repurposed several hundred hours, put in all sorts of custom scripts and little changes, and there's a whole lot more things to do. I haven't got any of the specifics, but there should be plenty more than the standard life server.
Yeah, Morph should put out some development logs on the forum, maybe that would add some interactivity on the forums and as well inform us on what he's actually doing. That would be quite cool, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if he's really gonna do that though. I mean that would be a cool thing to have, but yeah.
But back to the vehicle thing, so I'm probably gonna be thinking. Hopefully, he's gonna put in the Quilling SSV. That's one of the new off-roader kind of vehicles.
Yeah.
For the rebels, because those texture on them, they look really cool.
We'll be seasoned those. They won't be legal, man. We'll if we see those, we'll take them off. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I need to be careful there.
Yeah, you have to hide those, be very careful when driving them about, maybe have a scout forward who says, "Oi, there's the police coming, hide the vehicle inside the trees," or something like that, We'll be looking out for those, along with Ifrits and the other ones, strikers.
If Arma would allow it, the ghillie suit guys, that were in the car would take off their ghillie suits and put it over the car, and then till the cops drove by, and then put it back on. Yeah, they added some new boats and a jet ski too. I'm not too sure if they're gonna be used that much, because roleplay over the water is quite hard, since I don't like how the water is going. If you take a look at different games, the combat and other things in water, just the interactivity in water is way better than on Arma, because I think it's just a restriction with the animations.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, now you're firing for vehicles. The jet ski, I'm pretty sure, can take 2 people.
3 even, I see here. 3 people, so probably it looks like there's 3 space for 3 seats.
You got other boats as well, and there's stuff to do in the water. I'm pretty sure there's stuff to do in the normal versions. There'll be stuff to do on this. And also you got the other islands. You got one island that's connected by a bridge to the mainland, and you got two more big islands that aren't connected at all.
Yeah, they can't.
And you got 2 islands that are connected to each other, but not to the mainland. So it's there. I can see a lot of space for boats. If boats are priced cheaply enough and the license isn't expensive, because otherwise people will just save up a bit more and get aircraft. I'd prefer for there to be more boats and stuff than aircraft. I think that should be the rarity scale. You got you got people, you got your vehicles, you got your boats just after that, and then quite a bit further up you got aircraft. Boats should be more common than aircraft, in my opinion. Yeah, they're slower, but they should be cheaper too.
Yeah, and there's I think there's more roleplay. It's easier to get to a boat and talk to him than that's to talk to someone that's inside the plane. Cause there's no way you could notify them to talk.
The thing is, you can pull over a boat and force them to go to the nearest beach. You can't do that with an aircraft. You have to escort them to a landing strip, and then you have to land yourself and hope they haven't buggered off. Yeah, so it's a little bit more difficult to get compliance out of air vehicles. That's why it should be more expensive than boats.
And as well, the community or like communication within Arma itself doesn't allow for any way of communicating to air vehicles. Like for instance, if there's a role as police, as air trafficker, there's no way he could notify a plane without any sort of
except
mods or plugins.
Yeah, obviously T4 could handle that, but I don't know if we're actually going to be using T4 at all. Maybe some point in the future, but
I hope so, because I think T4 is a really good mod. They should probably like implant it to the main Arma itself.
Oh yeah, they should.
Just the communication is way better. But I see the point why it's not supposed to, since they want new people and every community wants new people. And if you need to download a mod, a lot of people that play Arma don't want to download mods.
Yeah. I mean, unmodded Arma accounts for, well, unmodded life servers account for, I'd say probably 2/3 to 3/4 of all life mod players.
Probably.
But I could see use if this community grows enough to warrant having a second server. I could see there being a need for, or not a need, but a desire for that second server to be modded, maybe even hardcore roleplay, maybe even whitelisted. So you got your unmodded server where people can come along, see what the community's like, see how the server runs. Then they stick around and they think, I want a bit more of a customised experience. I want a bit more of a hardcore roleplay experience. Well, what we also have is a modded hardcore server. I could see that working out quite well. And obviously not just the normal thing, which is just throwing a gun pack, throwing a big card pack, and then just leave it at that. No, carefully selected mods that enhance not only just the gameplay aspects, but also then obviously add content as well. But that content would have to fit with the overall theme. So I could see maybe even retextured versions of, like say Jonesy's mega mod or mega vehicle pack, like retextured versions for the police of some of those. So instead of just saying like the police department being all American style, it's instead a bit more customised, a bit more sort of themed, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, what I've heard is that you can't retexture the Jonesy mod files. They're standard textures. There's no way you can retexture them, unfortunately.
I mean, well, you can do retextures through mission files. But then again, the way that Jonesy has done his mod pack is strange at the very least.
I don't
it's sort
know
of got that. It's sort of got that, like it applies a skin to the vehicle after it's spawned.
Yeah, it's always random too. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no way you can select which color. I don't think. Maybe with some fancy scripts.
You can in certain scripts, yeah. Certain servers have the scripts, but you can tell which servers have gone for the permissions to use this stuff, because you'll be able to pick the colour for his vehicles on there. The ones that haven't got the permissions and just use it as it comes, they'll be the ones where you don't get to pick the colour. It's just completely random every time you spawn the vehicle.
What you think the use of the new stealth gear is gonna be? You think it's gonna be used a lot in the server, or just for the special forces and rarely ever used?
I can see if it's added, it'd be legal. So if you're seen wearing it.
Because I think if you use it too much, it's gonna be gonna be ruining their RPing.
Yeah, the thing is, especially with the fantastic CSAT camo that they've got this time round, and the fact that equipment just renders you almost completely invisible depending on what you have on you, and the fact that once you go into the jungle with that sort of stuff, you're invisible. You're invisible to naked eye, you're invisible to flare, you're invisible to MVGs. I just don't think that's very fair. I think that's counterproductive to roleplay. If you got the police and they've brought out a drone with FLIR, and they find out about looking for you, and they can't find you because you're wearing some super expensive gear, you could just commit crimes, and if you're followed and if you can't lose them, you just run into the jungle and then you're gone. That's just not. It's not quite right, is it? Really?
I'd say some situations yes, and other if it's purely about roleplay, you go into the jungle and make some nice, I don't know, search operation in the jungle, using the and then using the thermal vision to easily like find the guy in the jungle. It would ruin the roleplay. But if you're using it to find high value targets or something.
I'm not saying we're gonna have like FLIR goggles on every officer and or FLIR on every gun. It's gonna be and the way I can see Morph putting this whole thing together is we have drones. Right, the standard NATO style drones. They have FLIR on there. If we want to look for somebody in the jungle, if we can't find them on foot, we request one of those be set up, and coastal and airborne, or if there's any senior officers, because it'll be either or. We'll send it up and look through where we said we last saw them. And I mean, they could be long gone by then. They could have been picked up on a dirt road. And we just have to look for them with the FLIR. And of course, looking through the canopy is very difficult with FLIR. So they could hide under a tree, be the hottest they could be, and not be seen. They'll be very lucky if they're on the move and we've got a drone above them. We might be able to see them, but it's going to be very difficult. But that's what we want. That's what we want. We want a challenge. It's the jungle environment. It is the challenge of it all. Searching for people in that. It's going to be difficult, yes, but that's what it should be.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good reason to use more like a thermal on the drones.
Yeah, well, that's just how I envisage it anyway. Kind of like how it works in real life. You got a guy who runs into a bit of woodland and can't be seen from ground. You send the helicopter up, but even then, they use their FLIR, and sometimes they can't see the person because the trees are just block out all of it. So it's the same kind of situation. Because obviously Arma, the standard like Altis and what was the other one?
You would say the use of the gear, the stealth gear, would not be allowed if allowed to be very expensive, and the police would only use the drones if ever needed.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. If there is stealth gear, it's going to be illegal, right? Because it's just, if we see it on you, you're obviously up to no good if you need stealth gear like that. So we're gonna put you in cuffs, take it off you, search you, all that kind of stuff. Right? It's reasonable suspicion you're in stealth gear. You spent a lot of money to hide. So what you hiding for?
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
I'd say it's quite hard to find someone though, since like it's similar to normal camo, but it's just stealth camo, I'd say.
It's not. You got the CSAT stuff, which military grade camo like that. Yeah, you should stop somebody from wearing that anyway. So you got the CSAT Pacific style camo, and then you have the stealth version of it. And obviously, if you're going around wearing full fucking camo, like especially the CTRG stuff, that's quite noticeable. If you're running around wearing camo, you're going to be target for a search anyway, because it's probable cause you're running around in camouflage. What you're doing, what you're carrying, what you're planning, it's dressing up as a paramilitary, you might be up to no good. It's probable cause.
Yeah, but the only thing is, I don't think the new camo is only implanted on the stealth gear, right? There's no non-stealth gear with the nice triangle camo, because I really like the new camo with the triangles.
The CTRG camo. Yeah, there is.
Yes.
There's NATO's. There's the CTRG stealth suit. It's not as good, but again, it still hides you.
No,
if you're wearing the whole. What?
I mean the new camo. Is there clothing without the thermal protection with the new camo on it?
Oh, without? Yes,
yeah,
there is.
There is. Okay, yeah, that's cool then. Because I really like the new camo, but it does hide you from thermal. So I wasn't sure if there's non-hiding thermal camo too, or
I'm
non-hiding
pretty
clothing.
sure there is anyway.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because like, even though in the stories, not everyone would be wearing the thermal clothing, I guess.
But again, if you're wearing camouflage, it's probable cause.
What do you think the use of the VTOLs is going to be? Because I got some things in mind for the Rebel, like the vehicle.
Yeah, that small little VTOL that the CSAT have.
Yeah,
the ridiculously fast one.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna be. That ain't gonna be there. It's ridiculously unrealistic. It's just a bit cheaty, really. However, what will be used is the NATO one. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's that flies a little bit more realistically. It's basically like a supersized V-22 Osprey. It's also the passenger capacity is huge.